morena, mira como mueve, así, morena, mira como goza, morena, mira como toma, tómalo. That's a man version of a BBL.
What's that?
Yo, guys like big butts, so girls get big butts. Girls like tall guys, this guy get tall. That's a man BBL.
Welcome back to Ran-DomU. It's go time.
Optimus, maximize!
With the advancements in cosmetic surgery, people have basically been given a blank canvas to wipe away all the wrongs they feel they've been born into this world with. The only problem with this canvas is the fact that you don't actually get to control the paintbrush. You can pick out the paint, you can pick out the sizes and the styles of paint, you can pick out the style of brush, you can pick the size and the style of canvas. But you don't get to choose how it's applied. Now all of this seems very risky considering I already have one canvas, this canvas. And I really don't want somebody to screw that up, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, this is no different than your classic lip injections or your liposuction or your modern BBL, stuff like that. Now, Ava and Preach was just reacting to a video recently about a man who decided that he was going to make himself from 5'5" to 6 feet tall, which is quite outrageous because I've looked into this surgery and I watched quite a few videos probably, about 8-9 months ago talking about the leg lengthening surgery. And quite frankly, the average lengthening is about 3 inches. And there's usually a lot of complications with that. So considering that this man went to 7 inches and based on what I've seen, I know this man definitely went through hell.
Morena, mira como mueve, así, morena, mira como goza, mi morena, mira como toma, mi morena, tan rico que se ve, morena, mira como mueve, así, morena, mira como goza, mi morena, mira como toma, tómalo. That's a man version of a BBL.
What's that?
Yo, guys like big butts, so girls get big butts. Girls like tall guys, this guy get tall. That's a man BBL. He's got a man BBL.
Okay. Now I agree, but it does make you wonder, which one do you think is actually more dangerous? A BBL where they're gonna go ahead and suck fat out of you and then just make artificial booty and abs, or you can snap your legs in two and then have them, put metal rods in them. But you know what? I'm not gonna get into the details of that. I'm actually just gonna show you the details. But before I get way too scientific, let's go ahead and show you this clip here about his recovery process.
Day 1. Day 8. Day 14. Day 17. Day
37.
37. Day
45.
45.
Removal Saturday.
Yes, just after 40? Oh my god, I can't believe we came here. Day 50. And no more fixators. Day
58.
58. Day
71.
71. And oh my god, this is
Now I really wonder what day it hit him. Like, you know what? I think I needed to make my arms longer to go with these legs. Because now he's just gonna look like Reptar when he's got these long legs and he's just T-Rex arms. I don't think he really thought this through. He's definitely a much larger human being than he was before, but he looks kind of silly. He looks like SpongeBob when he stretches himself really tall, but his arms don't get any longer. Like, just think about it for half a second. Can you really imagine growing more than half a foot taller by tomorrow? Now, you don't actually wake up that much taller, but you do grow quite a bit. I couldn't imagine going from being able to fit in my Honda Accord to having to buy an F350. When I think about it, I'd be pretty upset considering how much I'm going to lose in gas mileage. Like, it's going to cost me a lot for the new vehicle and to actually supply it with fuel. Other expensive things, this surgery. This surgery is ridiculously expensive, but I'll get to that in a little short clip I'll show you shortly. Also, I can't fail to mention, this body is pretty much useless for about half a year to a year plus. And to be honest, it didn't look like he was getting around much better on day 71 than he was on day 47. Now, if you hang in there with me for a few more minutes, I have a very educational video on how these surgeries actually work.
Nail. First step is fibula osteotomy, which is done by making 3 small drill holes in the bone. This is followed by completion of the osteotomy with an osteotome to achieve a low-energy osteotomy. Next, through a minimal incision approach, the first step of the tibia osteotomy is performed by making multiple drill holes. This is done through a limited incision. This is the first step of the osteotomy, and it allows bone marrow to egress during the reaming, which you can see over here. The canal is reamed to
This is Dr. Rob Rosberg from Hospital for...
Guide wire is removed. The entry is through the proximal anterior tibia. Steinman pins are inserted to mark the rotation. The nail is inserted up to the osteotomy site, and an osteotome is used to complete the osteotomy. Once this is done, the nail is then passed across the osteotomy and optimally seated. The bones are rotated around the intramedullary nail to confirm that the osteotomy is complete, but the rotational markers make sure that rotational deformity is not created.
All right, and give us all a chance to breathe for a moment. Pause. All right, back to it.
Interlocking screws are then inserted proximally with the use of a jig, and then distally they are inserted using a freehand technique. Fibula length stabilization screws are necessary during tibia lengthening to make sure that the fibula lengthens along with the tibia. 2 screws are placed, 1 proximal and 1 distal. After 1 week, the distraction starts, and a motorized remote control is used. We typically lengthen the tibia at 0.25 millimeters 3 times per day. And you can see gradually there is an increase in distraction so that after 33 days, 25 millimeters is achieved.
Now, quick explanation for all us educated dummies. They're basically taking your leg and they're just stretching it apart slowly, 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 and slowly, each and every day until you get to your desired goal.
Once the full length has been obtained, consolidation begins, and that is the mineralization and hardening of the regenerate. This shows a gradual consolidation and calcification of both the fibula and the tibia lengthening sites. Once enough bone healing has been achieved, the patient is fully weight-bearing. Now, we typically remove these implants after about a year. It's an ambulatory surgery where the interlocking screws and the fibular length stabilization screws are removed.
So basically, you're going to be Jimmy Vollmer without the speech impediment for about 18 months.
And then the intramedullary nail is easily removed through a small incision from the anterior proximal end of the tibia.
I'm out. Can't do it. The last rod that was it for me. That's too risky. 2 long rods like that getting pulled out of your leg at the right trajectory just to make sure it doesn't shave off the wrong amount of bone. And you gotta think, that bone that grows around the metal, I mean, it's gonna be pretty much fleshy baby bone. Like, this bone isn't ever gonna be fully developed. I mean, because you're already a grown adult. So the bone that's growing in, I mean, yeah, it's technically healing, but it's healing around unnatural metal products. And basically, you still have to get it removed, and then that bone has to heal in as well. So it's like, is it really worth it? I mean, it sounds like you're not going to be able to do anything for like 3+ years. And then on top of that, there's usually infections and all sorts of other stuff that I'll get into in just a moment. But it just doesn't seem worth it to me. I mean, these are useless legs. I mean, you can't run, you can't ball. You're pretty much like Kyle Broflovski from South Park. Now, you got to consider when the braces on your leg are bigger than Forrest Gump's, you're probably going to have a very difficult future walking. Obviously, for Forrest, he ended up becoming a kick returner for Alabama. But for this guy, I really don't see that being his future. I think his legs are going to end up more like Kyle's.
Jesus Christ, dude! Look, Stan, I'm finally whole. My dad is even going to take me back down to the All-Star game to see if I can try for the team again. Come on, Kyle, we should get going. All right, Dad.
Okay, I've seen this episode a million times, and I've never seen where his jersey actually switched here. Now that's completely random, but before I get sidetracked, let me get back to it.
Of course it was about to happen. Like, BBL is extremely dangerous. But anyways, I digress. It's very invasive to just do that to your body.
This is wild. I'm reading some of this stuff, and they're like, if you don't have a team with you the whole way, if that thing just comes apart, it can undo the whole thing.
Yeah, you have to have a team with you, because basically what they do is this. When you break your bones, okay, when you break your bones and they put it together, your bone actually secretes a substance that is going to jam it together, and you're going to be able to redo itself, right? So what they do for you to grow is that they basically break your bone and put a gap, and break it again, and break a gap, and another gap, and another gap. So the bone always secretes that substance until there's that gap between them, right? Which is going to be solidified. Basically, you're breaking something and you weld it with a big ass weld. That's what they're doing with your bones, okay? So if you don't have a team with you or a brace, it's not a line, you could have problems with your...
Apparently you can't even run again.
Huh?
Can't even run.
No, because you know how...
Yo,
whenever you weld something...
You know, to give up the ability to walk, I think it stems from pressures that you feel in society from like stupid little shorts and TikToks and stuff that you see like this.
I do like them tall because I'm pretty tall for an Asian girl, and when I put on my heels, I would like to still be shorter than Mama Ann. So they need to be, I think, at least 5'11", but I prefer like 6 feet tall.
Now, clearly we all know not all women think like this, and I'm not going to beat your head with some like history lesson or some life lesson about how they're not this way. But I will say there are enough men out there who do feel a complex to do something about it. Now, these are some truly more than determined individuals, because this ish isn't cheap.
I had my surgery done 3 months ago. I'd always sort of been a little bit insecure about my height, to be totally honest. So I wasn't like super short. I was like 5'7", but then I sort of thought to myself, like, I really feel like I'd benefit from just like a few more inches, because then I'd be transitioning from like slightly under average height to like slightly above average height.
How much do you think you spent in total? Like surgery, hotel, everything?
So it was about 20,000 euros. So it's quite a lot. In England, the surgery is like 4 times the price. Same with like America. I think it's like $100,000 in America or something. There's obviously initial pain, like after the surgery, where they like cut the bone in half and insert the fixators. So it sounds like very like a torture sort of thing, but I got put to sleep, and then you wake up and it's all done sort of thing, and then you're on painkillers anyway. So it's not like excruciating. Let's say it's not intolerable.
Now, everybody's story of pain when it comes to the surgery isn't quite so nice.
I have heard in researching this in the past, because there have been other individuals to get it done. And what we heard was that it was extremely painful. Is that the case?
Absolutely. The worst pain I've been through.
Did you have like a tear coming down as a result of the pain?
When you get it, initially they put you to sleep, but once you wake up, you feel most of the pain. They put you on very strong pain medication after they make sure that you're okay, you're stable, so you wait a little while before you get it. I've never really been the crying type. I don't really know how, so it was difficult for me to express that I was in pain. And while I was in the military, I was always taught like just to suck it up. So I never told them I was in pain. I would just laugh to hide the pain.
Now here's the story of another man who decided he was going to cough up half of his livelihood to make the same decision.
Men across the country now say, you know what, maybe this is something I would be interested in. Going to extreme lengths. See what we did there? To get a leg up. See what we did again?
That's 2 puns.
In the dating world.
Going here.
So this 5'5" bachelor underwent 2 leg lengthening surgeries to add inches to his height, all in hopes of finding a girlfriend. Aw, buddy. But guess what? It was not cheap or easy. In order to make this procedure a success, doctors have to literally break your legs. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And not only is it excruciatingly painful, but it's also pricey. He spent more than $170,000 on the 2 surgeries. And over time, his height will increase about 3 inches, right?
That's man, 5 inches.
Yeah. Okay, so he's 5'5". Okay.
Increased to 5'10", so 5
Okay,
inches.
well that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I thought he was 5'7".
Yeah.
He looks. Is this after or before? Because he looks tall enough.
I need to know what his job is
It's
that
not great
allowed
to
him to take
scale,
off
though.
enough time.
I didn't know what
to
kind
make
of
this happen.
insurance he
Because
has.
my thing is, and I also
Now look, right there, that brother made a really good point that I'd never even considered. These people are out of work for a really long time. They're out of work for like 15 to 18 months, maybe 2 years. They can't operate, they can't run, they can't walk, they can't do anything. They can't even lift heavy objects. So, I mean, how rich are these dudes to get this surgery? Like, I mean, I'm glad to know that they were doing well, but the craziest thing is like, you're going to throw all of that away just to get a little bit taller, just to get bitches, when you were already apparently yoked enough to have this surgery that you should have had the confidence you needed to go get these women. That's insanity. But let's go ahead and check in on homeboy a little bit after the surgery.
He wished he was a little bit taller, but not to be a baller.
I don't do sports.
And he definitely won't be now.
Not even to make all the pretty women holler, but he needed someone to make magic, like pulling a rabbit out of a hat. All to go from about this height to that.
Now look, that is a humongous difference, and he doesn't look quite like Reptar like I was mentioning earlier, as I figured he would once he's complete. But look at how he's standing. The dude is very stiff. I don't know how many years it's going to take for him to actually get his bearings or get his balance right. But the fact of the matter is if anybody was to go by and push him like a little kid was to knock him in the leg or anything like that, he looks like he's going to fall over. Like, I don't know what family he's going to defend being able to stand like this. Like, I mean, he's not going to be able to crouch and get behind the bed or anything like that. He's just going to have to take all the bullets straight up. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's going to be able to fight, because you need balance to be able to throw punches. Maybe I should give him some time, but I'm telling you. Seamus. It's Seamus from Family Guy who I was thinking of, who he's standing like. Yes, the guy with the 2 pixie legs and sticks. Or legs.
But no, seriously, in these heels, I'm about 5'5", and that's how tall Denzel Sigger was about 6 months ago. Now he stands at 6 feet.
I wanted to become the best version of myself, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And for me, that included height.
It all started in December in Turkey when Siggers underwent his first of what will be 6 surgeries.
Surgically cut the bone, they put a rod in it, and they connect a device outside the leg that connects to the rod inside the leg, and you turn a key on it every day for 90 days.
He did that twice, once on his lower leg, again on his upper, and it cost about $80K overseas versus the estimated $150,000 he would have spent in the States.
It's called Live Life Taller. They have a rehabilitation center. They help you get back on your feet, and you're there the entire time you go through the surgery. Whereas when I was going to do it in America, they pretty much do all the facilities I found. They do the surgery and send you home.
He's still going to be a short Wilt Chamberlain who can't ball. And he doesn't, I don't know how much money he has left, but dang, I wonder how long his mom is going to be able to take care of him. I mean, this is a long time to just be without working or performing or doing something besides going to Planet Fitness. I mean, there's got to be more. My thing is, some of these guys that go ahead and they try to get these legs for the ladies, and I'm trying to wonder, like, can you perform with the ladies with these legs? Like, are you going to just stiffen up all the time? Or are you going to be able to move, wiggle? I mean, some people aren't, they're not very fluid, but now you've naturally made yourself literally wood. So I don't understand, what are you doing there? Me, when I hear clips like this next one I'm about to play, it makes me wonder, how ridiculous will things eventually get?
Additional height. What was that like for you?
It was unreal at first. Like, it's kind of like a growth spurt. At first, you don't notice it.
And when you were able to stand up and see that additional height, what was that like for you?
It was unreal at first. Like, it's kind of like a growth spurt. At first, you don't notice it. Like you don't notice it. You feel like you're the same height, even though it was 7 inches. It's like I still didn't notice it immediately. But then, as the days tick by, you start to notice everything's too small. You stand next to people you've stood next to before, and I'm looking down like this now, and that's a very amazing feeling. And then I stood next to people that were my old height exactly, and they're right here to me.
He said he felt good, right? Well, I know others who felt good.
Gerald! What happened to you? That doctor is a miracle worker, Sheila. I'm the happiest I've ever been. Look, Ike, your daddy's a dolphin.
Now look, it might not lead to that peak level of absurdity, but you never know. I mean, the world is kind of getting there. I mean, people are already identifying pretty much as dolphins, so I mean, we might reach that point sooner than expected. Now, I do have another video that explains exactly how dangerous him adding 7 inches to his height really is. Now, if anybody wants to see that video, if we can get this up to 150 likes, I'll make sure I release it. But before I send you off with this final piece of video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It really goes a long way and it helps us out a whole lot. We're only 250 subscribers away from 1,000, so hey, trying to get monetized. You never know. We're just trying to reach goals around here. So thanks for liking the video and enjoy this final clip, and I'll be seeing you soon. Peace.
Now, at this point, are you walking on your own? I saw you on what appeared to be like almost a scooter or a walker.
Yes, a walker, yes.
So are you still using that?
I transition between different devices. I can walk on my own, but just for safety purposes, I use crutches when I'm out and about. And whenever I need to carry stuff around, I use my walker. Like when I go to the gym, that's mainly when I use it. So I can like transport weights back and forth.
And is there still pain today in some form or fashion?
I have not had any pain in the last 2 months.
And apparently that's wonderful. That feels great to you. Have you faced any criticism for people who said, you know, why do you want to be tall? You know, this is the way you were born. You should live this way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of people say I didn't love myself, which I didn't love my height. So that's true. But I did love myself. And I've always had high self-esteem in areas, just not in height. Like,
and how has life changed for you as a result of now being 7 inches taller?
It's been a huge change. It's been a huge change for me, mainly because so much is going on at once. Because I decided to go public with my story, I'm getting like so many opportunities that I never even dreamed possible. I went from just being a regular guy to being known all over America, and actually all over the world now. I've gone viral worldwide numerous times at this point. So
it was for clout.
What would be some of those opportunities that we'd say, wow?
So most of them as of right now are actually I am getting information or details about a company that wants to like do a show like about me. I'm getting like opportunities even from overseas. Like overseas is calling me. I get to do interviews there. I get to do like different someone asked me to do like matchmaking classes, things like that. Yeah, that one's funny.
You're like, how did you put me with that?
It's hard to name every single thing because it's been so consistent, and I've been more busy than I was in the military. Actually, I was in the military 8 years.
And would you recommend it for anyone who may feel like, hey, I want to be taller. I feel like I'm taller internally, so I need to be taller. And there's a surgery out there. Would you recommend it for them?
Yeah, I say it takes a certain level of discipline and dedication because unfortunately, this is a costly surgery. And I've seen people, you know, not make it that far because it's painful, it's hard. So I get it. I'm not judging these people, but that pain doesn't go away. Like it gets better over time, but you're in pain pretty much the entire time. Me, I did it twice, so it's 6 months. And to undergo that for that long, it has to be a certain level of dedication and discipline to tell yourself, don't quit.